I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. My name's Chris Hammond and as always joined by... Who am I joined by?
Who are you joined by?
What? What is going
I
on?
can't remember your names.
You've forgotten.
Were you trying to figure out what you're going to introduce Hobo
No,
first?
I was
or not?
thinking, who am I going to go for first? And I was like, I'm just going to leave it silent until someone fills it.
I just thought you'd had a stroke.
I did start to smell toast. Is that real? I've heard that that's a lie, the smelling toast thing.
I mean, I could tell you once I've had a stroke, which I mean is bound to happen any day now.
We can
so.
try and induce one if you want.
Yeah, go.
You'll probably be dead by then.
It's
isn't
not
it?
like seizures though. You can't just flash lights and induce a stroke.
Or
on
maybe
it.
What?
just waft toast underneath your nose.
That reminds me of the stroke I'm about to have.
Can you really not? Does flashing lights not bring on a stroke? Or is it just...
I think
No, that's just
like
simple.
epilepsy.
That's
Right, okay.
just certain types of epilepsy.
Because there's that one where it's like fact, and the first one's like face. If you see someone's face go droopy, they're
That's
having
my
a stroke.
face all of the time. Like,
Yeah, but you can't bring one on. Like a stroke is like a blockage in an artery, so you can, unless you like just poke them and cause a blockage in their heart somehow. Then
Yeah, that's true. I feel like that thing as well, the only clue is the face thing. Like fact, F, is their face looking weird? A, are they looking funny on their face? C, I told you they'd have a stroke because their face looks weird and they'll all be just about their face.
no, because like, if they put their arms up, they can't leave their arms up or what?
What if you're having a stroke?
Yeah.
You can't leave your arms
can't
up.
go away.
Like if you're getting on the ride.
Well, you can have a mini stroke and not realise it, and the way that other people can realise if you've had a mini stroke is if if your behaviour starts changing in very weird ways, and it's persistently like you have wild moose swings out of no
Moose.
reason.
What's a
If
moose
there's
string?
moose strings out of nowhere, then you probably had a mini stroke.
Oh, right, okay
Yeah.
then. Having a mini stroke sounds weird. Sounds a bit dirty. Like, guys, I'm just going to have a mini stroke
I
for a
have
minute.
multiple mini strokes. It gets me through the day.
But if you interrupt it, you might get a mood swing. Well, anyway,
A moose string.
as always, joined by Katty. How are you?
I'm good.
Are you having a stroke? Mini stroke.
Always.
And Hobo, how are you?
I'm good. I've got vinegar strokes.
Oh, I forgot about vinegar strokes. You pig. So we are going to be talking about Clueless. Our first, what you'd call as a chick flick, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
This is
else?
our first chick flick,
I
though?
think so.
Ooh.
Would you class this as a chick flick?
I mean, I've watched it. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
I watched it dressed up as a girl.
Okay.
So, I mean, did you do anything in particular?
Just watched it.
Well, 2 out of 3 still wins, so chick flick.
Right, but before we get on to Clueless, Hobo, you suggested a top 3, didn't you? What did you want us to discuss this
Well,
week?
it seemed relevant that we talk about top 3 failed top 3 failed teen movie stars. So stars who are big in like a teen movie or multiple teen movies, but didn't really go on to do much after the fact.
Right, okay then. And as always with our top 3s, there's not that much like to it. It's quite loose because I was thinking like, how famous must they be, or how failed are they? Do they have to be dead?
Yeah, I felt bad kind of. I know I suggested it, but I started feeling bad because like that one's like, I don't really want to highlight something that wasn't really within their control, and then that one's like,
Because it's within their control.
No, like some of them we'll probably get onto were abused, and that's why they were abused by people in the movie industry, and so that probably negatively affected their ability to deal with situations. So I was like, I feel kind of bad for that.
Yeah.
And then others, they necessarily didn't go on to movies to be big, but they still like they're living a decent life, a better life than me. So
Anyone's living a better life than you.
yeah, true.
Do you know what? Like, I'll go first on this one because I think mine's a bit shit. A lot of the ones that I thought of straight away were more TV stars. Like I spoke earlier about that 70s show. I like the guy from that 70s show, Topher Grace. I thought he was going to be big and he didn't go anywhere.
He was in Spider-Man 3 as
Exactly.
the shit Venom.
Yeah, shit Venom. I actually went for Jason Biggs.
Jason Biggs.
Yeah, from American Pie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
Pie fucker.
Yeah, Jim. Pie fucker. Jim. Oh, I did the voice.
He was in Loser as well.
He wasn't
No. I feel like Loser was... That ruined him. Like, he did American Pie. Everyone liked him. American Pie 2, not so good. Then he did Loser. And then by the time he came back for American Pie 3, he just looked sad. Like, he just looked like this hasn't turned out the way I wanted it to go.
He was in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
When was that?
Oh, God. That's a good point.
2003? Something like that?
Oh, I'm old. I'm aging.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the last notable film I can think of Jason Biggs being in.
Shall I IMDb him?
Yeah, let's go for it. What his career's going like. I've not looked into it. I was going from what I thought of him.
Yeah.
And
that's a good... I probably should have IMDb'd my suggestion, really, so...
But I think I remember going out there on a limb and being like, this guy's going to be like a big comedy star in the future when he was
Because he fucked a pie.
Yeah, but I just thought he had like good timing. Kind of played the straight guy quite well whilst also getting the laughs out. I mean, he's not that much of the straight guy. He fucks a pie, but...
Yeah.
But
Is he gay?
No, I don't think so.
It's a
This is
female
me saying
pie.
playing a straight guy.
No, the straight guy. So
Oh.
like Stifler's the comedy crazy wacky one, and he was playing the straight guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a movie last year, 2000, but like nothing that I'm aware of. Apparently, he's in Orange Is the New Black. So,
Oh, yeah, he plays the main lady's husband, ex-husband.
Okay, so maybe he's gonna have a career in TV.
He's done voiceovers in TV, but no, the rest of them do seem like movies, but just not. I Like You Just the Way I Am. Oh no, that's TV series. Dear Dictator.
Never heard of it.
Who We Are Now.
No.
Night. No, that's TV series. All at Once.
So yeah, he's
Yeah.
not doing so well for himself.
Are these
and I
straight to
really-
TV films?
Yeah, I really thought he was going to be like one of the next big. And do you know what? Actually, even going on an American Pie route, I thought a lot of them would do more than what they did. I thought Sean William Scott, I thought he was going to be like the next Jim Carrey, and then just kind of did a few shit films, disappeared, did some kung fu films, Bulletproof Monk or whatever.
He did Role Models, though, relatively recently. Well, is that maybe about 10 years probably now? Yeah.
But yeah, my choice is Jason Biggs, just because I thought he was going to be some big star, and he's pathetic.
Well, I'll go next.
Right.
So, my nomination is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze, yeah.
I Know What You Did Last Summer fame.
Yeah.
Did Prince have a Z in it?
It did.
It's not Prince.
It's
is
not Prince, it's
It's
Prinze.
Right, okay, why are you going for Freddie Prinze?
Just
Apart
because...
from obvious reasons.
Yeah, it was in like a couple of like good teen films. And then he did Scooby-Doo.
I've still never watched the live action Scooby-Doo. It just nothing appeals to
Any
me.
of them?
No.
There's 2 in there.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
thought there was 3 out now.
Oh, is there 3?
I don't know.
Fucking
I
hell.
could be wrong, but
Yeah, I've seen the first Scooby-Doo. It is shit. But what was he in? He was in She's All That.
I know that what you did last summer.
I know that what you did last summer.
I know that.
is this a Yorkshire version?
Yeah.
I know.
I know that.
I know that. I know.
I really want to do a Yorkshire version of Trailer Breakdown of the I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Let's do it.
Look at that lass. She's a right shithead.
But yeah, so he did them 2, which are like pretty good like films. Well, in the loosest term. And then just Scooby-Doo. And what's he doing now?
Scooby-Dooed himself, didn't he?
He's Scooby-Dooed himself.
Yep, I brought up the internet on the front of my computer screen here. TV movie is the most recent one. In post-production, and it's I Mom So Hard.
I Mom So Hard.
Yeah, that's the one that's in production right now.
Has that got anything to do with a mini stroke?
But the rest of it is just voice acting for TV series and stuff like Robot Chicken and Star Wars Rebels. So.
Every person who I look at, who I'm like, oh, they're a failed actor, they'll have a credit on Robot Chicken. Is it Seth Green who does it? Must just go around hoovering up all like the dead end nobodies who just never did anything.
I feel like that's, if you're a failed star, as long as you still, apply yourself on drugs and just no one's picking you up, you can get into voice acting and just make a decent everyday living.
Why not be on drugs?
I mean, you can, but as long as you hide it well.
Seth Rogen's on lots of drugs.
Yeah, but what about that dude from Glee who died of like a champagne drug mix?
You guys, do you watch a lot of Glee? Because I
used to love it.
I think I've seen like 3 episodes.
I saw a quote recently. Apparently, Dave Grohl was quoted as saying, "No, I don't want them. You don't have about their music being on Glee. No, I didn't allow it. Not everybody likes fucking Glee, okay? And I'm one of those people."
So you're putting forward Freddie Prinze. Did you particularly love him?
Not particularly.
You just.
But he definitely stood out. Like he had the look. He could act.
He had that junior kind of like Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah.
He was. It was like a heartthrob for most sort of normal teenage girls.
Hobo, what are you going for?
Yeah, he was a heartthrob for me as well as a teenage girl. Well, funny you mentioned about American Pie. I did consider, as in the thumbnail for this video, Tara Reid.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I thought that's just like taking an easy shot, really. I didn't feel good about that. So there's one I wish I'd actually looked up, and now I don't know. But Emilio Estevez, has he done anything since?
Emilio Estevez?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did most of his stuff. Mighty Ducks. He's in Loaded Weapon, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. Young Guns 1 and 2.
Yeah, but is he doing anything now?
No,
but okay, so that was a bad idea. I'll go for one of my backups. I'll go for Rupert Grint from Harry Potter, just to have a stab at the Harry Potter fans.
Right, okay then. I love fucking Harry Potter.
But none of the other Harry Potter guys have been in much.
Daniel Radcliffe's been in fuck tons.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson both have taken off pretty much everyone else in Harry Potter.
Well, Daniel Radcliffe did sort of Harry Potter the Woman in Black.
Yeah, he did Woman in Black. He's done Swiss Army Man, where he plays that corpse. He played that.
A corpse?
Yeah. He plays a corpse through the whole film.
Is he just laid there dead?
Yeah, basically. And like the guy, every so often Harry Potter's dead body farts. and the guy rides him along the sea like a jet ski from his farts. It's a fucking crazy film.
Isn't it like an indie film?
Yeah,
like
he is a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
He's using his corpse to like, help him.
But dead bodies don't fart.
Apparently they do. They exhale a bit of gas, but not enough to ride along as a jet ski.
Because like if they're not looked after properly, they bloat and then they unbloat over time. That's why at first dead bodies float and then they sink to the bottom.
But it's not like they've got no muscles, so they can't fart.
No, it just it just expels.
Yeah, it's just
a tired fart.
Air passing through flappy skin. That's all it is.
But yeah, he did that film where he was a Nazi as well. He's done another film where he was lost in the woods and had to survive. He's done
there was that Horns one as well, weren't there?
Yeah, Horns, yeah. So Rupert Grint you're going for, though. He's done fuck all.
Yeah,
But he's beautiful, though.
He did some shitty kids movie, like something about, was it Captain Underpants or something like that? Or
I've heard Captain Underpants is quite good.
It wasn't animated. It was something.
He did an animated film where they were table football, and it was some kind of Euro pudding film where like 7 different European countries made this film, and then he just dubbed it. But yeah, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, but you're not looking forward to any film that's released that starring Rupert Grint. You'd be like, oh.
I mean, I would.
Really?
He's a lovely looking boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, each their own.
He's hot for a ginger.
He's alright. He's quite well built as well. He's a big lad. So you're going for Rupert Grint.
Yeah, and now I hate him even more, but everyone seems to find him attractive. Where, to me, everyone just goes, you smell like shit. You're holding a rat.
He's not homeless, you know. So, Katty, who
And
are
you're
you
not
going
ginger.
for?
That's not the point, okay? I don't like Rupert Grint.
I'm going for Pretty Prince.
Alien versus Freddy. And I'm going for Jason Biggs. Nearly called him Jim Biggs then. Jason Biggs from American Pie. Okay, we'll be back soon to talk about Clueless.
You're clueless, 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 you're clueless.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where myself, Hobo and Katty are talking about Clueless from 1995. Katty,
Yeah,
you know what I'm going to ask you.
for a little synopsis.
Yes, please.
No worries, I can do that for you. So, with Clueless, it's based in Beverly Hills, and the main character we're looking at is in high school, and I forgot what her name is now.
Cher.
Cher, that's
Is she
it.
supposed to be like 15? I never know how old high school is.
I think she's 16, 17, because they're in high school until they're 18, aren't they?
This is American high school, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a bit different.
Yeah, they're in high school until they're like 18, and then they go to college.
Okay. And college is like university, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's just basically about her life. I think it's like loosely based on some sort of actual book.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
it's, Jane Austen's Emma.
So yeah, loosely based on that, and it's kind of like a coming of age thing, and like, oh, there's this girl, and this is her life, and she gets into some sort of hijinks.
So how familiar are you both with Clueless? Is this something that you're new to? You've seen once, seen a lot?
I've seen a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen this a couple of times. This is like one of those movies that just everyone knew when I was in school and stuff, because it's a bit of a old one, isn't it? 1995. So, and it was very popular at the time, I feel. So,
Wait, shit, how old is that then? 23 years? 95, 2000. Yeah, fuck me. 23 years. That's a long time. So we've got Cher. She's, it's a bit of a life story, bit of a short period of her life is what I mean.
a
Not life
relatable story of someone who lives in Beverly Hills
Yeah.
and has loads of money.
And her dad's super rich.
Yeah, and her troubles trying to just get a boy.
Hey, she's
Yeah.
got struggles. Like, she has to think about whether her outfit matches and has to use Windows 95.
Oh,
to
God.
match up. I just remembered that as I was saying it.
That computer, this is the best thing about watching these movies from the 80s and 90s, just looking at the technology that they have, like, because good ones, they kind of predict what you're going to have, even though, so it may be on like a clunky computer or something, but, sorry, burp.
Sorry.
But the functionality or the way it does it,
So, like, Minority Report.
yeah, exactly.
Where he's got
The
the
hand
sliding.
gesture and stuff like of using computers. Yeah, that's all amazing. This, I don't think anyone has an app that you can cycle through all your clothes in your
You say that. I remember watching, like, Gadget Show. And in shops in Asia, they have, like, what looks like a mirror.
Yeah.
And you stand in front and you swipe along and it puts outfits in front. So you see your head on that outfit.
What?
So, yeah, it looks like this Clueless technology has come to fruition.
But like you wouldn't have that at home because that would require individually tagging every item that you have. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I have this, and then find it either in the app or some way, or just creating it. It would just be you need a personal assistant just to manage that, which Cher probably has.
Do you know what? It always goes back to when I was a kid. But I always used to do this thing when I was a kid where I'd like say to my brother, "Oh, do you know what they've got in America? But they don't have it over here." And he'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Roller skates of like the Ninja Turtles, and when you press a button, flames come out the back and push you along." And he'd be like, "Really?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, but only in America." You know what I mean? I just make up like random stuff and just be like, "Yeah, but you can only get it in America."
You
That's what it sounds
bullshit
like.
artist.
Yeah, what I've just done now. They only have it in Asia.
Only in
Asian
Asia.
shops. Yeah.
We can do that. Burma. Oh, it's only in Burma. They don't have internet in Burma. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So how do they have this technology then? How does it link up? If they don't have the internet.
Google it.
It's just a normal mirror with a rail, and they just
It's just
slide
a
in front.
person. Just like with a pulley system.
That's the thing, kids, they're never going to get to have that sweet lying stage at this point. Like, poor kids, they don't know what we're missing out on.
Too much Google.
Yeah.
The internet ruins everything. So Cher, she picks her outfit, a nice little yellow number, if I remember correctly.
Yellow tartan top. And kind of like waistcoaty thing, and then a skirt.
Yeah, lots of weird like waistcoats and jackets in this film. I
Yeah.
was like, that's odd. It's probably all coming back now, though. That
It
sounds
is.
like an old...
Yeah.
Blue Rinse, you can get double tartan 2 pieces.
Really?
Like, tartan was big in its time. You know, not just in Scotland, in like
It's kind
the
of like plaid.
1700s. Yeah.
Plaid shirts. So then she goes out and meets with NC Dion, don't
Dion.
Because they
With
make
a
some...
sweet hat.
Oh, yeah. Because she comments on that hat being, like, crazy, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's like a plastic top hat.
Like, hats in this film are just... There's no control, I feel. There's just off any sort of register.
But it's Beverly Hills, we won't understand.
No,
It's America.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, you hobos.
Hey, I wear a good hat. It's where you store stuff, so people don't take your wallet.
That's it, and yours is made out of plastic because it's a Tesco bag.
And sometimes tinfoil.
Yeah.
Let's not forget
I thought
that
you
they're
used your
listening.
foreskin as a purse.
Well, like,
Yeah,
what,
but I can only store like £4 in there.
do you remember those things that you got in like Scouts or whatever, where it was like a little plastic container that went around your neck, and you like screwed the bottom off and you put all your pound coins in? Do you
I
remember
never
those?
got that.
No.
I was in Scouts and I never got that.
You could just use your foreskin to slide them in.
You're like a roll of quarters. You just
Yeah.
like thumb it out.
Oh, that's what I meant by £4, like in 10p's.
Oh, okay. Like £4 in weight.
Yeah. You know, in certain like tribes, they have those weights in the bottom of their jaw. That's like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I have that with my foreskin going on.
And
Oh,
you started
nice.
with like a 5p, and now you worked up to like a £2 coin.
Can you use it as a weapon?
I bet I could. I've never tried, but
Like
you
you
know.
can do with like a pool ball in a sock.
But I do know, like next time a raccoon tries to bite my dick, it's going to break its teeth off on my.
Many
the coins.
raccoons in
Yeah.
the Leeds wilderness.
Yeah,
On your
of course there's-
£2 dick.
You think there's not, but give it a minute in the streets and you'll see there's a whole army of them.
Are you sure it's not tiny people painted
Dressed up
grey?
like raccoons, attacking homeless people. That is also a problem in Leeds.
Do you go up to ladies and go, I've got a £2 dick, and then pull out a tiny little pecker with a £2 dick? I think we should probably move on. So we start to get introduced into like all the characters. So we've got Cher and Dion. Then we see, what's Donald Faison's character called?
It's something really... I wrote it down. Murray.
Murray. Yeah,
And he's got that
odd name.
That backwards cap that I've never seen outside of the 90s. You know, the weird... Is it like a felt type cord?
What Sam Jackson always used to wear?
Yeah.
Like a Kangol.
Like yeah.
Yeah. Kangol was like, what? I don't think those hats
People
have ever
still
looked
wear
good.
Kangols.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, not hipsters doing it, like, ironically.
No. People still wear Kangol.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson still wears it. He's still
Jamiroquai.
They've never looked good. I
No,
don't think
they
Ben, not now. Never.
No.
Put them away. People.
Burn them.
I want to make a plea. I should have live streamed this bit. People of Earth, put away your Kangols.
Yeah, doing a bit of like a public service.
Yeah.
So we get like quite a quick introduction into what Cher's life's like. She's kind of a bit manipulative.
Oh, massively.
Fuck yeah.
Gets exactly what she wants by arguing or debating or leaving like clues and tips and things to get people together.
Yeah. Everything she does everything is in her own self-interest, and it's just really, it's not just that, but it's also sometimes... I'm sorry, I'm burping. A negative effect on other people. I think the only exception to that is the trying to hook up the teachers, because...
But she's only doing that for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't seem to... There's doing things for yourself if you think there's not going to be any negative consequences, but then there's doing things for yourself where you know that it's going to affect someone else negatively and just doing it anyway. That's not a protagonist of the story. That's an antagonist. That's a bad person.
I love it when we get like morale lessons on Hobo. I feel like I go away being like, I'm not a good enough person. I need to improve. So then they get to school, they hook up the teachers kind of thing, and then we start to see all the little cliques as well, don't we? And then, do you know what? I'm kind of struggling to think about what is the driving story of the film, apart from when What's-Her-Face comes in.
Yeah, what's
Ty.
Ty,
yeah.
Yeah. So Ty would be the crossing the threshold, but like what her overall goal isn't really established, because she kind of has everything she wants.
Yeah. And you kind of get the impression that even if she doesn't get the grade she wants, she's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Daddy will save her or whatever.
It's like some big, massive, like, lawyer or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Daddy.
Because there's bits like in the start when she's learned to drive, or when she's driving, she doesn't have a license yet, but she's driving on like a learner one, and she like hits into stuff and just goes, oh, and then just carries on, don't give a shit, but there's no consequences, and I think there's a bit where she's got tickets, and it's a really funny joke about the tickets, but she doesn't care about the driving tickets.
I feel like this is us trying to give people life lessons, like fucking kids.
Yeah.
Take some responsibility for your actions. Stop driving without a license. Pay your goddamn tickets.
Yeah.
So I did feel more of an affinity to the dad in the film than I ever have done before. When she was like, I didn't get a first one. And he was like, the ticket is the first one. And I was like, damn right, Pops.
That moment was played so well though. Just I pissed myself. I've seen this a couple of times, but it's just like, I don't know. You can write that joke, but the way that exactly plays out, you couldn't write it. It was just down to both of them two nailing it.
And do you know what? She's really good in this. Like,
She's a good actress.
She could have been on our list of people who disappeared. She just like cleared off, and then she came back last year in what was it, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I was like kind of expecting her to look the same, and she didn't. She looked like a 45-year-old woman, and I was like, oh, whoa, yeah. I really haven't seen you since Clueless.
You should take down that post off your wall now.
Yeah. But she's good in this. But really, like, there isn't much to it, is there?
No, Ty comes along, and she's like some weird, crusty, like really like skateboarding and stuff. Is she from like LA? No, she's not from LA.
She's from definitely East Coast, isn't she? Because she's got a bit of, I'm guessing somewhere like Boston, or was it Denver? Or no, that's
I'm not sure. She's got like a weird kind of
like a hey, what are you talking about? Kind of like a weird.
Yeah, it's more like Brooklyn, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely East Coast.
And
then she's moved over to the West, and then they take her on as like a passion project.
Oh yeah, that's
like
disgusting.
We're gonna make you over.
Yeah, we're gonna make you into one of the popular girls. And it's just like. Oh, just let her have a weird hair and a big top, and I felt for that girl.
Yeah,
I properly felt for her because she was like chatting away with that guy, like that skateboarder guy, and
he's acing this.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's a cool guy. Like I'd hang out with him. I'd drink some beers and pretend to be on a skateboard and that.
Yeah, she seemed perfectly happy. Yeah. Where they didn't do any backstories, like maybe she's come from a bad background and maybe her personality, which is very friendly. She is like a dog in this. She's just friendly with everyone. Yeah, maybe that's got her in trouble before. Then it would make sense why it might be a good thing that they're helping her. But no, none of that. It's just we want to make her like us.
Yeah, it's very much Mean Girls though.
Yeah,
Mean
true.
Girls before Mean Girls.
Yeah,
and what you said earlier about I've just looked at my notes for when Brittany Murphy comes into it. She says she's 16.
Yeah.
So they're all 16 in this.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a line about her saying that she's only 15, or she's like, I turned 16 in a few weeks or something.
Yeah.
So I remember being like, this is a bit weird.
And she makes a like off-the-cuff remark about not being a virgin at that point as well.
Yeah.
How dare they? Underage sex.
Do you know what though?
Not in my day.
In like America, Americans are a bit more fussy about that. Like even the younger, like I remember speaking to someone and they were like, if you're 18, you should never sleep with someone who's like 16 or 15. That's gross. And I was like, why? Like, everyone in England does that. That's like, when you're 18, you can't get girls who are 18.
Well, I mean, also a lot of like chavs in England drive around with 13-year-olds in the car.
Yeah,
But it
that's a
doesn't-
bit low.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's like just because everyone does it.
That's my defence in court. So yeah, they decide to take her and just fuck with her life. Be like, we're going to make you over, make you into what they consider a better person.
Like, even training her how to walk.
Yeah.
Oh,
poor lass.
God.
I know, yeah. And then this is pretty much where we start to see the rest of the film develop, and we'll call it Hair for Hair. For part 1. And we'll be back for part 2.
Land with your head, not the whole car. I swear to God, woman, you can't drive for shit.
I'm not trying to hear that.
Hear me, you.
No.
Actually, going all the way is like a really big decision. I can't believe I was so capricious about it. Dee, I almost had sex with him.
You almost had sex with who?
Christian.
What?
Yo, look, are you bitches blind or something? Your man Christian is a cake boy.
A what?
He's a disco dancing, Oscar Wilde reading, Streisand ticket holding friend of Dorothy. Know what I'm saying?
So we're back for part 2 of this Clueless episode. If only you could see Hobo giving us a Wayne's World point-in start. But to start part 2 off, I'd like to talk about 3 male characters. So I want to talk about... so I want to talk about Elton. I want to talk about Christian and Josh.
Okay.
So Elton... Who is Elton?
So Elton's the guy that Cher tries to set Ty up with at first.
Yeah.
Very pretty boy, rich boy.
Yeah.
Pretty rich boy.
Could have been Freddie Prinze Jr., couldn't he?
Yeah,
Prince.
I would have preferred that Freddie Prince's face.
Freddie. Freddie Prince.
Just gonna, squash his name to Preddy.
Freddie Jr.
Yeah, I want Preddy Jr.'s face rather than Elton's, whatever that
Elton
guy.
looks smug, though. I thought he was really well cast. Like, he had that rich, smug face he just wanted to smack.
Yeah.
But Cher tries to set Ty up, doesn't she, in a whole scheme of, like, making her over. It's a bit like She's All That, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of a makeover film. And he turns out to be...
A prick.
Yeah.
That's
Do
what
you know
prick.
what, though? Up until a point, I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Like, he likes her. She's forcing Ty on, and he's like, I don't like Ty. But she's like, no, you will. Like,
You do.
yeah, like forcing this
Yeah.
lady on him, and then he just turns into a cunt.
Just trying to dress up Ty slutty so he'll be, and then like get him dancing. Yeah, no, but he didn't have to be that much of a cunt about it. But
No, he didn't. And the whole, like, your dad, my dad, it makes sense or whatever. I was like, bit of an insight into that world.
he's a bad
Yeah.
But he's kind of used in just a way to make the relationship between Cher and Ty a bit more fractious, isn't he? Like a little bit of a catalyst for...
As his character in the film is his character in the structure of the film, which is he's a tool. He's a means for an end.
Yeah, he is. And he comes in, he disappears quite quickly. He takes some nice photos, doesn't he? I know she does. And then we've got Christian. So Christian comes in.
Christian was great.
Did you love Christian?
I loved him so much. He was just so swag.
Yeah. As soon as he came in, I thought, Katty's going to love this guy. He had that kind of 1950s
Yeah.
James Dean thing going on, didn't he?
That was definitely his style. I preferred the dad's reaction to Christian. I was more on the dad's side of reaction to Christian than Katty's side of reaction, which was, who the fuck is this?
I just like if you looked at like everyone, if you did a lineup of everyone in that school, like all the popular guys, and then you had him, you'd like spot him a mile off. He doesn't look the same as everyone else, and that's what I liked about him. The fact that he just rocked in, and he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was gonna do what he wanted. He was gonna dress the way he wanted, and somehow became a really popular guy.
And you know what? Credit to the film where they've got a gay character in it, and especially in this era, it would have been very easy for them to go overly flamboyant
Oh, yeah.
and hard to watch. But he was as much as I wouldn't like the character as a person. He was like an interesting character and a much more well-developed character. You knew what his influences were, what his sort of, yeah. But also
and
like
art.
Art and films and stuff like that. He was more of a creative person. And,
When he was like, "Do you like Billie Holiday?" And she was like, "I love him."
Yeah.
I can't for years. I was like, "I don't get that," and I just got it this time. But he again, another tool, and all the kind of men in the film, apart from Josh, which is the third that we'll get onto, are kind of little, almost lessons along the way. Even Murray, she's like, sees that actually he might act the big woman or whatever he always calls her, but actually like he's quite faithful and quite a nice guy. And then you get Christian and you get Eric. Is that his name? Eric?
Elton.
I like that portrayal with Dion and Murray, their relationship, because it was like, again, it was a different type of relationship you don't often discover, where how they act in public is different to how they act in private, and especially how Murray acted like he was a dumb jock type thing, but really he knew what he was talking about. But then when I thought about it more, I was like, is that weird? Is that setting up an abusive relationship in the future where he beats her, but then says, "Oh no, it's fine," and then
but he loves his mum, doesn't he?
Yeah,
so he's like, "Don't tell my mum," so he's got respect for women.
That was another bit that played well, where Dion threatens to call his mum when he's shaving his hair. I just pissed myself.
So then we get Josh. So Josh, I know we're only just talking about him now, but he's introduced at the beginning as a nerd. I mean, God, Paul Rudd looks the same now.
Oh, yeah.
Has not aged. That's the
has
first
not
thing I
aged.
wrote in my notes. Like, Paul Rudd, just same.
Still wears like a flannel shirt. Still got the same hairstyle. Like, you don't look... I bet if you look through pictures of Paul Rudd, there won't be like one of him with long hair, one of him with a skinhead, one with dreads or whatever. He's just looked the same.
It's just Hollywood's Peter Pan.
Yeah, he is.
It still acts the same. He's still got that sort of boy, earnest boy reaction to everything. Like, oh, just happy to be there.
Yeah, he is. But he's really good in this.
I mean, the relationship creeped me out.
Oh, yeah. There was... Because they're step brother and sister.
Technically not anymore, because Cher's dad divorced his mum.
But how much did they labour on that? Ex-brother.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
But it was just still weird. Like, if you've grown up with someone, whether it be for 5 years or whether it be for 2 years, if you've had someone like that in your life as like a sibling, and then you just want to knob them.
There was one scene which it felt like it was straight out of a porno. They were on the sofa and like she was in her pajamas and they was watching TV. And there's literally like, oh, you know, shouldn't think about me in that way. You're my stepbrother. What the fuck am I watching here?
Where is this going?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit creepy. But I've never really thought of it as being creepy because I watched it when I was younger. I was just like, this is what happens.
Yeah, that's how they initiate you. Luckily, it was Clueless she was watching and not some like jihadi videos. Oh, this is normal.
But yeah, so she starts to fall in love with Josh as the film goes on.
Yeah.
Do we think that's right? Apart from like the weird, like brother-sister relationship, was he the right one? Or was it just he was there?
I mean, there's a lot of, as clueless as they try and make it, because obviously, even though she calls Ty clueless, it's the title is meant to more suggest that Cher is the clueless one.
Yeah.
And as clueless as they make her out in a lot of scenes, they also make her out that she is actually accomplished. She knows what she's doing. She just doesn't apply herself.
She's intelligent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like book smarts.
So while it may seem like they shouldn't fit because she's this dumb blonde and he's meant to be this smart college kid, which obviously everyone knows once you pass college, like, fuck, I was an idiot in college. I think they could potentially work as a couple. I wouldn't say necessarily it's wrong, but there is a bit
He
of
was teaching her life lessons.
He was, yeah.
There was a bit of a Nightingale effect going on where he saved her from being stranded after she got robbed.
Yeah.
Well, she rang him. She obviously thought that he was the one to pick her up or whatever in her time of need. I did like that scene where she got mugged. I liked the fact that the mugger was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
She ran away.
Politest mugging.
So then the Josh story starts to develop. We see more of those two getting on until the point where, spoiler alert, they get together. So what about the Ty relationship then? So we spoke about Elton earlier. There being a bit of like friction caused between the two of them over what happened. She liked rolling with the homies.
Rolling with the homies. Why did no one pick up on the fact that every time Ty sang, it was pitch perfect and amazing? Like she would just go rolling with it, and it was spot on. Like not even just like a that's good. I was like, fucking hell, Brittany Murphy could sing.
Well, could.
Could. Well, maybe the air escaping the corpse.
Oh no!
You're gonna ride it like a jet ski.
Yeah. That's my go-to move. It's called the jet ski.
Not the alligator fuckhouse.
No. That's back up. That's it. That's if things are going wrong. You pull out the alligator fuckhouse.
If you've not heard of an alligator fuckhouse before, Google it.
But,
we haven't got time to
but
explain.
not at work.
No.
Not around parents.
No, all small children.
Or alligators.
So where are we at this point with the plot to turn Ty into one of these Beverly Hills girls?
I think they accidentally succeeded, didn't they? They kind of almost
she turned
forgot
into a
about it.
bitch.
Yeah.
They created the monster, didn't they?
Yeah.
Bit of a Frankenstein story, isn't it? And then they lose control.
She just goes rogue.
She calls Cher a virgin,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
she does.
heinous.
Yeah.
You virgin.
Yeah.
Is that what she calls it? Is that it?
There's two things like you've not done this and you're also
You're a virgin who can't drive.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I love
Sick
that she's
burn.
like harsh or whatever. So they've created this monster, then it backfires on her because she has the near-death experience, and Dion loses her virginity, so she's now the one that's
A dirty virgin.
yeah. And
Dion lost her virginity when she nearly crashed. She went onto a freeway and nearly crashed him.
I love that scene. I really love that scene. I love that was kind of like the big action scene in the film, them going like 40 miles an hour on the freeway.
On a dual carriageway.
Yeah.
And then Ty's was some jock boys at a mall joked around by pretending to throw her off the edge of a balcony but didn't. But then obviously she was like, people were thinking, she nearly got shot or something, like gang.
So much peril.
Yeah. So that's what Dion, Cher's best friend, bonded with Ty over and then left Cher on her own. But
Yeah, it's like, have you ever done it in water? And she's like, yeah, or whatever. So then she's at her lowest point and decides, I've got to turn this round.
Yep.
She does the food drive, doesn't she, for the homeless people or whatever. You've probably got a couple of tins of beans out of that hobo.
no. The thing is, the key with food drives is you don't go to the food drive and get the food directly. You wait until people come out of the food drive and then you mug them.
Right, okay.
And then you can get more than one serving.
None of the small talk.
Nah.
Right, okay. Then.
Exactly.
You're that mugger. I bet you died.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So she sees the errors of her ways. Breckin Meyer's character comes in and gives his bongs up, doesn't he? He sees the error in his ways. He's like, no more being a stoner. I'm going to put my efforts into skateboarding.
Go pro.
And then she meets Ty at that skateboarding event, and then all's forgiven.
Yeah, they're like bezies again.
Yeah.
Weirdly shallow for
Yeah.
a movie set in Beverly Hills.
They're teenagers.
Yeah.
So she's learnt the lesson, really, that like you shouldn't be manipulative and you should take people at face value, not try and change them or just see them as a stereotype. You're a stoner, a skateboarder, or
Do we feel though she actually learns this lesson like
maybe
properly?
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe like till the end of the school year.
Yeah.
Then she's got summer break and then she comes back and she's bigger and
Stronger.
more manipulative.
I know you said you've seen this a lot, Katty. Cham, how many
Loads.
times? Loads. So both of you, what would you say when you remember first watching it? Did you take anything away from this film that like stuck with you about Clueless?
That yellow tartan works.
Yeah, I remember that outfit.
Yeah.
But I watched it loads when I was younger. But it was
Cham learnt that fucking your stepsister's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But no, I feel like it all washed over me and just was like just a load of catchphrases and scenes. But I guess it kind of is.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I was trying to think the same, because that's a big criticism that things like Avatar gets. That it was like a big budget movie, but it's had zero cultural impact. And I was trying to think if there's much that this has had an impact on.
I know that Iggy Azalea did a video copying it, music video, so
God,
it
that's
impacted
not
her.
Good. But this is, I mean,
it's a good point. It is. It's kind of fluffy and like kind of the contents of Cher's head, just a bit clueless.
No.
Oh, right. So shall we go around and say what we thought of it? Who wants to go first?
Hobo?
Yeah, you're both looking at me. Okay, so shit. I hate going first. Well, yeah, no, I watched this a lot, and I remember liking it a lot. But it had been a couple of years. But looking at it, it like the main protagonist isn't likable. Nothing she does is likable, and she is a 1%er who doesn't care about other people. Like you said, there maybe is a lesson she's learned towards the end, but it doesn't feel substantial enough that it'll be more than 5 minutes and she'll forget it again. And yeah, you can't pin it down to any sort of decent story structure. It just doesn't follow it. It's but you know what? I enjoyed it. Probably a bit of nostalgia factor. I think if I watched this again for the first time now, I would probably hate it. I think there'd maybe a few funny bits that I like, but overall wouldn't be a film for me. But I think I'm going to put this as a fine, luxurious cheese because it holds a special plate. It's got a special plate in my heart.
So you're going for luxurious cheese?
Yes.
What about you, Katty?
I'm going to side with Hobo.
Right, okay then.
It's what I imagine, like, real-life Beverly Hills to be. As much as it's got no storyline, like, no real sort of plot behind it. There's no sort of anything that jumps out at anyone, but I imagine that's what being in high school in Beverly Hills in the 90s especially was like.
I think apparently the writers did go and just, like, sit in classes and study kids in school for a bit, which is cool. Weird, but cool.
Yeah.
So, like, never been kissed?
What?
She goes back, doesn't she? She goes back to school.
I haven't seen
Maybe
Never Been Kissed in
another
ages, so I can't remember much of it.
So you're going for...
Fine, luxurious cheese.
Do you know, and I'm just going to finish it off by saying I liked it, I didn't love it, but I'd say it's a luxurious cheese.
Oh.
I've got nothing further to add.
That's weird, because we've all agreed it's a fine, luxurious cheese, but not like a stand-up ovation.
Yeah.
It's just all right, isn't
it's just like, probably shouldn't, but, you know.
It's weird because I thought before going into this, I liked it a lot more than when we started talking about it and discussing actually that there's not much of a plot and that she, like you said, she probably hasn't really learnt a lesson and will probably do it all again next year. That I was like, oh, actually, maybe it's not as good as I thought. But it's still good.
Ty's story arc just comes full, like, she's full circle but hasn't learned anything because she was herself. She tried to be forced to someone else and then herself again, but I don't think she barely noticed it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of the characters really changed.
And Katty, you were saying about Dion, she's kind of sold as the second lead, but she's just barely in it.
Yeah, like 5 minutes. Well, not 5 minutes, but
probably not far off if you added up all the scenes. So that's Clueless. It's a fine, luxurious cheese as far as the Spoilt Milk movie podcast are concerned. And that's it. So thanks for your time, guys. As always, it's been lovely speaking to you about this luxurious film.
Woo-woo.
You're the only one that's nice to me.
Till next time.
Fuck you,
Toodaloo.
Hobo.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.